What's up, YouTube? It's been a minute, but let's just get right into it. I am currently in a creative rut. So let's get into being in a creative rut. If you are not familiar with what it looks like, what it feels like, or what it even is, it's basically when you are in a period of time where you are just not feeling creative, motivated, whatever it is, and it's basically like staring at your computer or timeline or project, whatever you're working on, and it feels like this.
Hang in there, Squidward. It's all part of the job.
And let me be the first to say that is not a great feeling. So for the last month and a half, I've just not been super motivated and not felt super creative, and I just have not created anything. I was dealing with some personal stuff, and I'm definitely a huge advocate for taking care of yourself first, being able to know when to put the camera down and put the project down, and being able to cater to your mental health, because I believe that that's far more important. And so I did that for the last month and a half, just taking care of my mental, taking care of myself, and then work was super busy. Season's kicking up again, so we have been in that office working, and that's been my day-to-day. And then yeah, as far as freelance projects, I've not had a ton of freelance opportunities in the last month, so I just have not felt super creative when it comes to pumping out Tired Janae Media content. There was a point where I was pumping out like 3 to 4 YouTube videos a month. If it was like once a week, twice a week, I was putting out reels every day, if not 3 to 4 reels a week on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube shorts, and I was just like going ham with content. Mind you, throughout these times, I was shooting a ton of content, so I was able to repurpose a lot of it, whether that was something I made a vlog about, and then I was able to make some shorts about it, reels about it, TikToks, whatever, and I was able to pump out content as frequent as I was, and then also have a ton in the archives and kind of in the drafts to not run out, if that makes sense. And I got to a point where I ran out, and yeah, I just kind of hit this creative rut where I just did not feel like making things. I did not want to shoot anything. I also wasn't having a ton of opportunity to shoot things, so I just kind of was on this like downhill slide of like, I am not creating anything. And I was thinking about like the work that I was putting in to pump all that content out and to build Tired Janae Media and to build my pages and to do everything that I've been doing in the last few months, and then it kind of just hit a halt and I went ghost. I wouldn't say like complete ghost, like I've been gone for a month. I've still put out 1 or 2, maybe 3 things in that time frame, but it definitely was a 180 from what I was doing, and that is because I'm in a creative rut right now. Thinking about that, I was like, oh no, like I don't have YouTube content to put out, and I have no ideas to make my next vlog about. Like I have no idea what to even talk about right now. I'm not doing a day in the life. I'm not taking you all on a shoot with me. I'm not shooting anything right now. So I'm like, what could my next YouTube video be about? And then I was just like, I am sitting and thinking to myself, like, this is a video right here. Being in a creative rut is, in my opinion, just as much of an important video as me editing or me taking you all on a shoot with me, because this is something that's very common to happen to any sort of artist, creator, designer, whatever it is. Like, this is really common and it happens to a lot of people, and I felt the need to not be silent until I can figure something out. I felt the need to speak up about this just because I think it's, like I said, something that a lot more people go through than you would think. So today's video is going to be about creative ruts, why they happen, possibilities and ways to get out of them, and really just to let people know that like you are not alone in the feeling that you may have felt already, currently feeling, or may not have felt yet, or may never feel. I don't know, but you clicked on this video for a reason. So we're gonna go over creative ruts, and let's just get right into it. We're gonna hop into the first part, and that is discussing why creative ruts happen. There are probably hundreds of reasons to why they happen, and I am not going to get into all of them today, but the 3 that we're gonna talk about are fear of failure, burnout, and routine fatigue. To get into the very first one, fear of failure. This is something that I feel all the time. I always put so much pressure on myself to be perfect, to have things perfect, and to edit this the right way and do this, and it's just like, that is just not even why we should be doing this. Like, this is supposed to be fun, and creativity is supposed to be fun and exciting, and the work that you create should make you want to go edit and want to go shoot and want to pick up opportunities, and it shouldn't be this like black and white guideline of like, you need to be on and you need to have ideas and you need to be motivated. Like, it's just not like that. And I have just had this fear of disappointing someone, or like letting people down, or like putting something out that maybe not be to the quality of work that I've always put out, or a different style of editing, or whatever that is, and just like this intense pressure that I've had on myself for a while. And the fear of failure and like the urge to be perfect can sometimes freeze your creativity, and that's where you can land in this specific position of the creativity rut, and just potentially feeling like, if this isn't perfect, or if this isn't to the standard of work that I've always put out, there you go down like that spiral of now you're not creating anything and you're now in this rut. The next one I'm gonna get into is burnout. Burnout can stem from a ton of different areas, where that simply can be from you pushing yourself too hard and too much to get content out, go shoot something, go edit something. You need to have this many reels out a week and this many reels out a month and this many, and you're holding yourself to the standard of always being on and always having things ready to go. And that again can lead to lack of creativity, lack of motivation, just because you get to a point where maybe those ideas aren't flowing as easy as they were, and then you kind of get comfy in that because you're like, whoo, I was on a roll there for a minute. Like, I'm tired now. I don't have anything else to think about. I don't have any new ideas, and I am just gonna, I guess, wait until they come to me and not create. And that one's really, really common. And that can also just happen from maybe the work that you do, or the style of work that you do, whether that's working in sports, whether that's working in an agency, whether that's working for whatever you do. You can have burnout in a million different directions, and that's a very, very real way to land yourself in a creative rut. The third thing, routine fatigue. I am a routine individual. Like, I do like to have structure to my days, but at the same time, I like my days also to be very different. And I know those are like two completely contradictory things, but like, I like to wake up in the morning, God willing, and then eat something, going to work or working from home. Like, I love the hybrid environment. So like, that changes up my days a little bit, but then I get my work done throughout the day, and my work is kind of all over the place just because I work in social. And if you know, you know, some things are completely different one day, and then some things are 180 the next day, and that's just kind of the nature of this job. And so that gives me variety throughout my day. But then when I come home from work, I get to be by myself, I get to watch my shows, I get to play games on my iPad, or I get to create something, or journal, or go on a walk or a run. And like, I love that variety. But like, routine fatigue comes from doing the same thing every single day, and that's personally not something that I do. So this is not necessarily a reason why I'm in a creative rut, but it very well could be a reason why whoever's watching this video may be in a creative rut. And that is also a really, really normal way to land yourself in that creative rut space. As I said, there are so many ways to land yourself in this space, but those three I think are the most common, and those three are things that I felt at some point throughout my professional career. And yeah, right now I would say mine is heavy in fear of failure and just kind of putting all this pressure on myself. And we are gonna now use that to segue into the next bit of this vlog, and we are gonna get to signs that you're in one. Right now, the things that I've been feeling is lack of motivation. I've been feeling lack of creativity. I have not necessarily had a ton of opportunities to shoot as of recently. On top of feeling not super motivated and not super creative, I just didn't feel the desire or push to go create something, to go shoot something, and I then didn't. I chose not to. So I would say like lack of motivation, procrastination as well is a huge one. And kind of tying all of this in together, I mean, I felt quite a bit of procrastination throughout this when it came to even making this video or making a video to put out on my YouTube channel. I have been avoiding doing it because I haven't had a ton of ideas. I've been putting it off, and And then today, that's when I was like, okay, it's been a while. You need to get something out. And that's when I was like, talking about being in a creative rut is more than enough to put out on YouTube, because again, it's something that's really common and this could help somebody. And the fact that I'm making this video, this is helping me get out of that creative rut, because now I'm filming for the first time in like a month and a half, and then I'm gonna have something to edit and then put out, and now you're watching it on YouTube. So this is helping me, and I'm hoping to help you as well. So those signs that I listed of kind of signs that you are potentially in a creative rut already or about to fall into one is kind of like lack of motivation, feeling that lack of creativity, procrastinating toward things, feeling overall just frustrated at the fact that this is how you feel and I can't come up with ideas like I normally can, and I can't put things on paper the way that I normally can, and just feeling frustrated with yourself or at your circumstances. Okay, so now that we've gotten to go through all of that, let's talk about how to get out of these ruts. I am not one to have all of the answers, and I am perfectly okay with that, and I'm happy to not have all the answers, because then that means I get to learn more stuff. What I do have is my own personal experiences and my own sports industry journey and my own professional career, and I have all of my own experiences that I am now sharing with my viewers, and I can only create based off of what I've experienced and share that with you and hope it helps. With all of that being said, how I like to get out of a creative rut is still create something. And you're like, Tyra, this whole video is the fact that I can't create something and that I have no ideas. I understand that. But look at me right now. I'm literally creating a vlog about the fact that I cannot create something right now, and I am not creative right now, and I don't feel motivated right now. I'm still creating something. And figuring out a way to turn that lack of creativity that you're feeling into something else. I mean, you can still create something, and even if you don't have a vision, it's picking up your camera and kind of letting your camera find that vision for you, which sounds so corny as I said that out loud. But like, seriously, I just was sitting here and I'm like, oh, creative rut. Oh, let me film that on my G7X and we'll just talk. This is literally not scripted. I have no notes in front of me. I am just babbling and telling you all how I feel, and that it's normal if you feel the same way. And letting your camera kind of do the work and you do the talking and just explaining how you feel. I think vulnerability is a huge strength to have, and right now that's what I'm trying to do, is just be open with y'all. And like, I don't have it right now. Like, I don't have it all together. I don't have a million ideas to share with the world. I just like don't right now, and I'm creating something out of that. And if you're not one to talk to a camera like this, I mean, pick up your camera and go outside. And right now I know it's about to be fall, so the leaves are about to be changing colors. If you like scenic stuff, go shoot some leaves and try out some new presets on Lightroom, and put new photo formats on Instagram and try out new scrolling techniques and Photoshop techniques to make your dumps that much more exciting. And if you're not at a point where you want to do all the creative Photoshop-y, cutout-y stuff, that's fine. Let's go take some pictures and edit them and try out a new preset, try out something new, try black and white photos for the first time. If you always shoot in color, try black and white, and if you're always in black and white, shoot color, and like try something new to kind of get those creative juices flowing. And then if you're into sports, and say there are not a ton of games right now, that's okay. Maybe try, if you have any athlete friends, if you have friends that still play sports, whether that's college sports, high school, or play professional sports, be like, yo, I know it's been a minute, like, do you want to film a workout reel really quick, or can I take some pictures of you when you go practice next time? And ask to do that and kind of create an opportunity for yourself. Go shoot something. If you don't know anyone who's an athlete personally, you could pick a sport that you like and maybe shoot the beauty of that sport. So let's think of soccer. Go to a soccer field, get a soccer ball, and take photos of that ball in the field. If you have a pair of cleats of your own or have some athletic shoes of your own, go take some detail shots of the laces or of the bottom of the cleats to show the cleats to the grass. Go take detail shots of a soccer net. Go show the scuffs on that soccer net to show how much that soccer net's been through. Go take photos of the lines and the detailed, freshly painted lines. Like, go take pictures and make something out of it where you may not feel super creative about the angles that you're getting, but you're still shooting something and you have something to go work on when you get home. You have something to edit. So kind of letting your perfection guard down and letting all of those thoughts that have creeped in, let them out, get rid of them. Don't suppress them. Go through them, feel them, and then move forward. Pick up that camera, and even though you're not feeling super creative, you can, if you do like doing talking head videos, talk about it like we're doing right now. Or 2, let your camera do the talking and go outside and go shoot something, whether that's nature like I shared, whether that's one of your athlete friends like I've shared, whether that's finding the beauty in the game and taking photos of things that you may have in your house already, and just trying to strengthen those creative juices by maybe trying something out that you don't necessarily shoot all the time, or creating some sort of content that you may not have had as your first idea, but it can definitely be something at least to get the creative juices flowing. I am yapping today, so we are gonna take a brief intermission. I can talk, that's for sure. All right, next thing to get out of your creative rut, change your environment. So if you are an in-office 5 days a week type of person, when you get out of the office and say you're working on your personal stuff outside of your 9 to 5, maybe don't do it at home. Maybe go to a coffee shop and edit for a little bit, or maybe go to the library and go somewhere super, super quiet and wear some nice headphones and get a little study room. Maybe go to another creative friend's house and you guys can touch up photos together. Whatever it is, like, change your environment and maybe see if that helps a little bit. Because I know for a fact, so I'm hybrid, I'm in the office a few days a week and I'm home a few days a week, and I will literally lose my mind if I'm sitting at my desk for like a full work day. I just like can't do that, and that's just more of like, I will start to lose creativity, or my eyes will start to wander outside my window and watch the birds go by. Like, I just, even when I'm in the office at work, I will relocate from my desk to our little chair that we have in our little office corner. Like, I just like to move around. I like to refresh what I'm seeing, get the blood flowing, walk, move around a little bit, and change where I'm sitting, change what I'm looking at, change the project, whatever that is. Just changing your environment is huge when it comes to feeling creatively stuck. You're not as motivated as you normally would be. Just like changing your environment, maybe rearranging your workspace, like moving your desk around at home a little bit, or moving things around on your desk at work, or changing the layout on your laptop, whatever it is. Just changing whatever you want to classify as environment. Changing your environment, that is definitely another way that I really like to get out of my creative rut. Another way I like to get out of a creative rut is trying something new. And I kind of mentioned this in my last sports industry tips vlog of like trying out new things to increase your versatility, which yes, that is definitely a plus, but also just trying something new outside of what you normally do to not only like put your focus on something else, learning something new, but that also could fuel the pieces that you're feeling creatively dried out in. So for example, I have been feeling just not super motivated to shoot photo and video recently. It's not that I don't want to, I just like don't have a ton of ideas on like what I want to shoot. And recently at work, I've been picking up Adobe Photoshop, and Adobe Photoshop was like my worst nightmare. And it was something that I was like, oh no, I don't know Photoshop and I'm not doing it. I've been that way for so long, and then I'm like, oh, like be versatile, and I'm preaching all this, and I'm just like, okay, Tyra, you need to be more versatile yourself and get better at Photoshop. At work recently, I have been taking on more Photoshop projects where I am making these Instagram carousels that scroll over and kind of bleed over photo into photo, and that has brought me so much joy. And I have really kind of started to weasel my way out of my creative rut by trying something new, and I'm like putting my effort into something else that was something that I wasn't in my usual scope, but it's something that I find so much joy in now, to where not only am I starting to enjoy Adobe Photoshop better, but I'm now seeing how I can incorporate Photoshop pieces into my content. That was exciting. I was like, okay, like I'm feeling creative a little bit right now. Like, this is cool. So just being able to try something new outside of your usual scope, and not only to, like I said, learn something new, but also figuring out ways that you can apply it to other things. And I think that's really huge to get yourself out of this space. Here's my next way to get out of your rut, and that is seeking inspiration from others. I have a ton of people that I look up to, whether that's a mentorship, whether that's my personal motivation, whatever that is, and I I find inspiration a ton, and sometimes in other creators. That does not mean this person did this, I'm going to do it the exact same way, in the exact same color, and the exact same music, and the exact, like, I don't mean that. I more mean like scrolling and kind of listening to inspiring podcasts, or listening to other creators talk about the things that they deal with, or a passion project that they just completed. Maybe seeing a final project of what someone just put out, and maybe seeing their creativity, and maybe that can inspire your creativity and how you want to go about your next project, or your next look of colors that you want to use on your video, or sound idea where it's an upbeat sound. And I definitely want to make a video like that too someday, or kind of finding inspiration in people that you look up to, people that you follow, and other creators in this industry. Because like I said, everyone is a creative, whether it's your style of work or not. We're all creating something, and we're all doing it in our own way, in our creative space. And it's like, we all, like I said, at some point have gone through some sort of lack of creativity, or lack of motivation, or lack of something. And you can sometimes find creativity in kind of seeing what others are up to, what they're sharing, you know, and kind of grabbing inspiration from that. Another way to get out of these ruts is to set smaller goals. And you would think like, oh my gosh, Tyra, you have been telling us to go for the moon and shoot for our crazy goals, and no goal is too crazy. That is correct. But when you're feeling like not as creative and not as motivated, say you're looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, you have this huge project due, or you have this huge project you want to get done, but you don't even know where to start. Like, maybe start a little smaller. You can still get to that giant goal, but start a little smaller at first. You're worried about what the ending of this video looks like, and you still have 2 minutes to go. Focus on the next 30 seconds of that video and think of, what could I fill within the next 30 seconds that makes this video better? Or how can I enhance this video? Or what can I do in the next 10 seconds with sound design that can elevate this part just that much more? And make smaller goals rather than, oh my goodness, I still have 2 minutes left, and how am I, you know, and like these are the same spirals that I catch myself going down. But it's like setting the smaller, more manageable tasks first to get you to that end goal. And that's another way that I really like to lean on when it comes to when I'm in these creative ruts. Y'all thought I was done, and I'm not. As I said, I am yapping today. My very last one is to reflect on the why. And as, again, I'm a cornball today. I don't know why I keep saying corny things, but this one's serious. Take a break. Have that be okay, to take a break and a step away from a project for a sec. Like, again, we're not robots, we're humans. Take a moment. Take a break and really look at, like, why did you start this in the first place? Not the current project you're on, because if it's what you have to do for work, you have to get it done. You know, like, that is not what I'm saying. Remember, like, why you picked up the camera in the first place. The very first time you picked up that camera, and the first time that you bought Adobe softwares, and the first time that, like, you picked your major in college, or the first time that you sent a message to your favorite creator saying, like, teach me your ways. Like, remember your why. I really am a firm believer of reconnecting with your purpose can really, like, reignite that fire of your passion. So remembering your why, figuring that out, and, like, truly answering those questions. And for me, I can answer some of those just because I've been talking for so long, but for sake of example, I picked up a camera for the very first time when I was a very young kid, and it was a point and shoot camera where I was just taking pictures of my friends and my family. And then I started kind of leaning, I think, like, one of my very first photo albums that I published was like a book of flowers that were outside of my grandma's house when I was younger, and I just, like, took pictures of every single flower that was outside of her house, and I printed them and I put them in a book, and I was just so proud at my very first creation, and I was like I did that. And I wanted to make memories last, and I just kept going down that rabbit hole of, like, okay, I'm taking pictures of flowers, and now I'm taking pictures of my friends at graduation and their grad pictures and their senior photos. Now I'm taking pictures of Michigan State athletics because I am a student athlete at Michigan State, and I am still so passionate about this, and I want to capture sports, and figuring out, like, I really like doing that. And then now I'm capturing content of the Red Stars, and now I'm capturing content of the Trailblazers, and I'm doing all of these things that ignite that passion of mine. Remembering my why, like why I did this in the first place, is really motivating. I may be stuck right now, but like I said at the very beginning of this video, acknowledging that I'm stuck right now, acknowledging and recognizing that it's okay. It's normal. And figuring out maybe why I could be in that rut. Okay, I am scared to mess up right now. Reminding myself that it's okay to mess up. We're all human, we're not robots. As I keep repeating, just like to remind yourself, like, it's okay to mess up. It's okay to feel like this. And also reminding yourself it's temporary. You know, this isn't gonna last forever. This is a temporary feeling, this is a temporary situation, and you've come up with ideas before, you will again. I can yap, that's for sure. I don't even know how long this is. I have no idea where we're at with time. I don't really care. Like I said, I want to help somebody, so if I can do that, then I will talk for as long as I can and as long as I need to. But yeah, hopefully this helped. So thank you all for watching and stay tuned for my next video.